Yo, what's up? What's up? I'm back again with the market shenanigans. Another episode of the weekly batch analysis. And actually, last week is the first week in, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 consecutive weeks that I actually skipped a week. I didn't do my batch, but honestly, I think there was just like one trade or something. And it was just, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't get to it, didn't have time. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to batch it together and do 2 weeks in this episode. So that just means instead of four trades, I mean, instead of three, there's going to be four. That's a big deal. Okay, so let's jump into it right away. So I'm going to start with week 13 then. I don't quite remember how it went. So I'm going to go through all the days and actually see what was going on. All right. So looks like... All right, I was watching quite a bit of stuff. So let's check out the contexts here. All right, so UJ, first of all, weekly, kind of a strong move. Daily, yeah, definitely a strong move that pulled back. Looks like a reaccumulation for sure. So if something built up in this MMB overall, I would definitely look for a trade there. Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin shorts, right? Yeah. I mean, more needs to happen here, but generally looking for shorts there. Yeah, good idea. NAS 100 shorts here makes sense in my opinion. Absolutely. Big stage one. This kind of looks like price is breaking down. Yeah, I think this looks decent. Maybe a little bit too early. Maybe a tiny little bit too early. Maybe this day should first close negative and then follow next day. I don't know. Maybe. JER30, yeah, JER30 looks better in terms of the shorts here because the support slash demand is definitely over here, and this previous day has closed really bearish, which makes me think that this could easily continue much lower. So yeah, JER30 decent. UK 100, similar to JER30, I would say, definitely also a good place to follow. And gold, yeah, I guess, but generally, I would probably not look for longs here. I mean, what am I saying for shorts? I'm kind of expecting a bounce here. I think this would all be just a reaccumulation. It's tough. It's tough to say. But yeah, whatever. Some news? No news. So this was my watch's screenshot. So it was all shorts, right? Just looking at this. I would say a lot of it looks fairly choppy, honestly. A lot of it looks just like it's dragging its ball slower. There's not too many like super impulsive moves. There was an impulsive move here, and this leg started off impulsive, but then it just all got a little bit staggered, and I don't know, I just don't like it here. Looks kind of weird. Like maybe gold after this redistribution, if it like created stage one and broke down, that would be followable, I guess. But other than that, I don't know. So here, lots of markets look potentially ready for shorts, okay? And looks like I end up taking a trade on NAS 100, which is this trade over here. So let's take a look. Here we are on the 100-minute, right? And this was some level of demand because this is inverted, of course. So we broke down with good momentum. There was some sideways and it looked like it wants to go for continuation. Here we are on the 10-minute, right? Okay, so the initial, let's say the initial impulsive leg was here. Then it started correcting and forming sort of an ascending triangle, whatever, just like a consolidation pattern that then breaks out higher. And here, yeah, I mean, this went lower, but it created a beautiful stage one. It broke out. So looking for a trade over here makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. So let's see what was going on. This was a 1-minute entry, I guess. Okay, so some kind of downtrend, definitely a stage one over here and a strong breakout, right? And here it reaccumulates, and as it breaks above all of this higher, I guess looking for a trade over here makes a lot of sense. But it's like, okay, so this is the stage one. It's like a buy stopping an MB above all of this. Yeah, it makes sense. So as long as the last rule is met, that there needs to be a reaccumulation here, which there clearly is. Yeah, this is a reaccumulation. So this trade, I think, was completely fine. I like this trade. Good trade. So I'm gonna say that was a good trade. Yeah, it ends up being a -1, but who cares? No, wait. Is it a -1? Yeah, I guess so. It is. So I don't know why I have it here as... Huh? R secured -1. Okay, there we go. So that was on Monday. Yeah, it's closed. Yeah, was an okay trade. Let's check out Tuesday. Looks like nothing interesting. I didn't even fill shit out, so I didn't trade. Neither on Wednesday. Neither on Thursday. Wow. And Friday. Okay, Friday it looks like I did trade. So let's see what I write here. Usually looks good for longs. JER30, NAS, and BTC good for shorts. Will only trade until 1400. Okay. After a bit of analyzing, I actually removed JER30 and BTC from the watch list. High time frame is not quite ready. Makes sense. And ending the session at 1400. Okay, but I was looking at UJ. UJ. All right. So what happened on UJ in these few days? So it looked like it continued building itself up, and now it's like knocking on the resistance. Definitely a good area to look for longs, in my opinion. Absolutely. So this is all the stuff I was looking at on the 10-minute. So that looks, all of it looks really good, I would say. I think all of this ended up dying, but this looks good. Like, big move, reaccumulation, breakout above diagonal and horizontal on all of these. Bitcoin looking for continuation here makes total sense. Yeah, these look great. Like, I end up taking no trades, so everything probably failed. But overall, this looked great. So yeah, that was just that one loss, which happened on... When did it happen? March 23. Let me see if I already wrote that down. March 23. Nope, I guess I didn't write that down. Seriously? The last trade before was the US oil trade? That's crazy, man. All right. March 23. And that was what? NAS 100. Okay, what time? 11:28. And it's a -1.2. All right. So that was week 13. So I would say no mistakes. Very nice. Just one trade. And now week 14. So let's check out what was going on. First of all, let's just write down that the results here were -1.2. -1.2. And that would be the same even if I traded perfect, because this was perfect. So, yeah. Mistake. Look perfect. Okay, let's put that in here. Cool. So patient, followed rules, nothing went bad. Nice. A good week. Awesome. So, and now we have week 14, which is this week. And I have 3 trades here. Well, actually 2 of them I didn't take because, well, I'll get to it. But let's start with the next week then. This is week 14. So check out Monday. I didn't put contexts here, but I was looking at US 100 over here. Did I actually trade this? What is this? And this is JPN. Yeah, I was looking for short, so I was like checking the bullish trend that happened here, and I was just waiting for invalidation, right? Which kind of happens here, like clearly some demand breaks. So I would be betting on the shorts here on the weak side, because this is all just a redistribution. So that makes a lot of sense. I don't quite understand why I have the 1 minute here. I guess I did take a trade, huh? London looked trash, so I didn't fill anything out. New York made NAS 100 and JPN 225 interesting. Okay, and I take a trade on NAS 100. Let's check that out. So that's this one, yeah? Yeah, that's this one. So what little change that I made is I included the 1000 as well on my main screen. So I will pretty much be able to see all the way from the high time frame. 1000 is something like a 0.7 day, I believe, something like that. So it's almost a daily chart pretty much. And here, like, this is looking pretty clear for some kind of continuation, I would say. And I'm just following this high time frame move. That's all there needs to be said. So this is on NAS 100. There was a trade over here on a previous day, I think. I ended up not taking it, and I don't remember exactly why. I think it was a 10-minute trade or something. Not quite sure. Maybe it was a 1-minute trade and I was following the 10-second. I can't remember, but that was a +5, and I didn't even record it. But anyway, that's a big move, and it corrects, right? And then has a reignition bar here. So I'm definitely looking for a trade here. So we have these nice waves down, like some clear level of resistance that breaks higher. And now I'm looking for a trade if it builds up nicely. So big impulsive move, definitely a reaccumulation over here. And we have a diagonal, we have a horizontal, breaks above. It's a little bit wicky, I would say. Like just looking at this, it looks a little bit wild. Not the best, could definitely be better. But overall, this trade makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. Like the entry definitely met all the rules that I'm looking for with the horizontal diagonal and all that. So this trade, I think, was good. And well, yeah, if there's one thing I really don't like, it's that it's really, really wicky, and because of that choppy, and you can see that very nicely on the 10-second. Like, this is really kind of all over the place. So if I... Okay, so there is always this ultimate question, right? If I could take this trade right now, would I take it or not? Honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't take this. So I'm gonna call this a mistake. Like, if I could be super critical, I would simply say, no, this is too choppy. Let's sit this market out. This ends up being a break even though. So I reduce risk after this high is breached, and I'm risk free after it breaks another high. Almost no need. Like there was like 0.05 R risk on this second reduction, but it's whatever. And yeah, right after I move to break even, it comes back, that's pretty much what you can expect from a chart that looks like this when it's so choppy. Like the expectation is that it's gonna chop you up. So that's why I would ultimately not take this trade. So I'm gonna call it a mistake, unfortunately. So here we are. Oh, I already wrote mistake here. Cool. So that is that. And what else do I have here? So Tuesday looks like a no trade day, ending the session at 15:15. Gotta go AFK. Okay, cool. Wednesday, I don't even write anything. Thursday, came back at 14:30. Two beautiful US oil trades, but both were during Asia. I see. Okay. Yes, those are the trades that I actually documented because they look really pretty, but I couldn't take them because they happened before London. So I just included them in the, in the data collection so that I can go through them in my batch analysis and see what was going on. So I've been talking about US oil a few times the last couple of weeks that I'm not completely sure about this wick over here, whether I should even look for like any kind of trade in this range, because this range is kind of wild, I would say. But if we assume that like, okay, so this is just a wick and this is a resistance level, and we broke above here and we are correcting and creating a new momentum cycle, then yeah, this was a good area to look for a trade. And what do we have here on the 100? There's a couple of wicks, but if you look, pay attention, the wicks are mostly from the bottom, which for a bullish setup is completely fine, right? It shows that there is demand. But anyway, there is some kind of reaccumulation here, right? Clearly. And that was a big move that qualifies me to look for continuation. Clear diagonal, clear horizontal, and as it's breaking out here on the 100, I am looking at the 10-minute. So big move over here, and that starts going sideways, right? Which should be enough for a trade. And here we are on the 1 minute. So this is the initial impulse. Then it starts correcting. This is the diagonal, this is the horizontal. And as it breaks out above here with this candle close above, that would allow me to pretty much set up the buy stop. And of course, I would need to also have the liquidation here, which I believe there is a liquidation. I'm not entirely sure, but I think there should be. Yes, there definitely is. So even here though, even here and here, like definitely there are some inside liquidations. So it definitely allowed me to set this up. And if I had set it up, I would have reduced risk over here. So yeah, I would go completely risk-free here. If this comes down, I wouldn't want to be part of it. And this hits +5 really nicely. And in this correction over here, that's where the next trade is. So I really think this was a nice trade. But yeah, I didn't take it, so that's fine. So this was nice. And the next trade, actually, let's take a look at the 10 minutes. So previously, this was our 10-minute, right? We took a trade over here in MMB1. And here, this is the previous MMB1. Now we are in MMB2 over here. So definitely a valid area to look for a trade. And here we have the initial impulse that starts correcting and going sideways. Beautiful, right? Diagonal, horizontal, breaks out with good momentum, reaccumulates clearly, whoop, reaccumulation. That allows me to set up the buy stop over here. I would get into that and that would hit +5 very quickly as well. So yeah, after this I would be risk-free and that would also go to +5. So that would be a beautiful +10 day on US oil if I had traded, but I didn't. So good that I didn't take. Good that I didn't take. It's not a mistake. So the USL trade happened in Asia. Yep. Okay, so that's Thursday and Friday. I was looking at US oil over here. So if we take a look, yep, this was the MMB where we were looking for trades that previous day. And here it's breaking out higher. This looks good to follow, I would say. So this is how it looks on the 10-minute. These are the previous trades, the dots from the previous day, right? That went quite a bit higher, then flushed brutally and started respecting some kind of resistance over here. So I thought, okay, if I see a big breakout and candle close above that resistance, I could start following on the 1 minute. That doesn't happen though. So, oh yeah, and also it was Easter, so no trades. All right, and that is it. Actually, I didn't fill out the break even, right? So I did end up taking this trade. Cool, let's fill that out. So that's March 30. March 30 on what? NAS 100, right? Yep, NAS 100. 1642, and that was a minus 0.2 just for commissions. So I'm still sitting in a fairly deep drawdown. Yeah, still around here. So one thing I do want to talk a little bit about is the current market, right? It is totally great that I'm not taking trades because I'm not supposed to be taking trades. The market kind of sucks right now. And the thing that I would like to mention here is that it really sucks, you know? Like, I feel so ready with my system. I feel so eager to start applying myself to the real market and start trading real money and all of that. But I can't. Like, literally all the markets look like garbage. Like, some of them got interesting now with maybe some potential short legs or whatnot, but overall there has been so little to trade. So it's a lot about patience right now, and I think I'm doing a good job in regards to the patience stuff. Like, yeah, here and there I sometimes make a little bit of a mistake. Like if I take a look at that previous trade on NAS 100, right? This is a little bit too choppy, I would say. Wait, where was the trade? Oh, here. Yeah, this trade was a little bit too choppy. Like the 1 minute should not look like this. This is really wicky. So I could have said no to that. But even then, like I just took one trade in the whole week. That's completely fine. Like that's great. And the rules here were mostly met. It's just this one additional detail that that is the wicks. But you know, that's fine. That's just something I'm definitely gonna over time get even better at. But if this is the only type of mistake that I make, I think I'm gonna be wildly profitable anyway. So this is this is not a huge concern necessarily. So yeah, I just really want the market to start doing something, but with the global situation and everything, it's kind of terrible. So all I can do is really wait and work on some other stuff in the meantime, which I'm doing. But man, oh man, am I so looking forward to actually start capturing some nice moves. One thing that I want to also talk about real quick is that I have created a new set of like sector thingies over here. Let me make this a little bit smaller and go into the sectors. Wait, how do I do this? I thought I had, I'm just gonna go into here, into contexts. Okay, so look, I'm reading this Psychology of Trading book, and I came across some of the best principles and everything, and he talked about the morning routine and the scanning and stuff, and that prompted me a little bit, and I was like, maybe I could like do a little bit of a better job to understand what is going on with the overall market and how things are looking. So I created this entire thingy just to get a general idea of most things. Right now I have these, but maybe I will add some more over time. So right now what I have most importantly are all the different indexes, right? And this is global. This is the US, this is Germany, UK, EU, Japan, China, what is HK? I thought is that Hong Kong or something? Yeah, whatever. And Australia, right? We know this stuff. We know the metals, right? Gold, silver, copper. I don't even know. This is oil, I think. Nat gas, and I don't actually know what DBA is, but apparently it's important. I did some research of what I should be looking at. And then I have crypto here with the total and total tree, most importantly. Total tree is without Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the kind of the biggest ones. But interestingly enough, you can see that all these charts are pretty much equal to the Bitcoin chart. Okay, not Ethereum. Ethereum is too small, but everything is just a Bitcoin chart pretty much. And here is the most important thing that I created, and that's the relative performance. So what this is you got the axis here compared to the SPY, which is basically the S&P 500. So this is a relative indicator of a sector compared to the overall market, to the S&P 500. So XLE right now is, for example, energy. And energy is, by the way, the only one that looks somewhat interesting, right? On the weekly, you can see that it's outperforming. Like it's definitely like going higher. It's clearly bullish. So looking for energy sector trades would make some sense. And I think technology looks somewhat okay too. But look at the rest. Look at the rest. It's just consolidating with the rest of the market. There's like no clear direction or anything like that. Yeah, this is technology, I think, XLK. Yeah, tech looks somewhat okay, but needs some reignition, right? Like overall, yes, bullish, but needs some reignition. But everything else is definitely not in a state to be traded. And that's exactly like the kind of market that we have in front of us right now. And we just need to be patient. We need to wait for the right moment. And once something starts moving on the weekly or maybe even the daily, but mostly the weekly, like I want to follow a strong weekly move, you know? And once there is some kind of stage one and a strong weekly move, that's when I will be happy to follow on the lower time frames. But until that happens anywhere, I have to just sit on my hands and I have to be patient. So I think I've been doing a good job in that regard. So I'm going to give myself credit for that. It's been going really, really well. Confidence is sky high, but now I really just need an opportunity to showcase it. And I guess this every day is an opportunity to showcase it, right? By not trading, I'm showcasing that I'm doing the right thing. But man, I also want to do the other thing, not just waiting. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for today. How long has this been? 23 minutes. Jeez, man, I yap a lot. All right, happy Easter. See ya.